Football, the New England Patriots well equipped as they go from 13 losses to 13 or more wins, 42-10 on May Day. All right, 90% or better, 5 passing touchdowns in a game. Lynn Dickey and Frank Ryan.
Anytime you can be on a graphic with Lynn Dickey and Frank Ryan, you know you're doing something great.
Look at Lynn's face mask.
When the graphics department has to go find an old grainy photo, you're doing something right. Drake Maye.
Well, shouts out to Lynn and Frank for throwing 5 touchdowns back in that era.
They didn't expect to be a part of the conversation today.
Yeah,
there we are. Drake Maye in that MVP conversation. All right, back with the fellas as Drake Maye goes for 5 touchdowns in what was, 35 minutes, 40 minutes of a ball game. This one could have been even more out of hand. It was good on bad. We knew what the outcome was going to be, but to open this game 11 of 11, to distribute the ball with the confidence that he is right now, Mac, what are you making of the play of Drake Maye, and where does he stand relative to that other quarterback that has the inside track for the MVP?
Prolific. I think when you look at Drake Maye and just the growth that we've seen from him this season, no question credit is due to him, but also Josh McDaniels.
Yeah.
Yes.
The job that Josh McDaniels has done, just being able to get the best out of Drake Maye and not allowing his ego to overshadow the player and putting the player in positions to be successful and adjusting to the player. See, that's what great coaches do. They don't make players adjust to their coaching style. They adjust to the players because different players do things differently. And with Drake Maye, I think the confidence that he's thrown the football with, and just the consistency and the accuracy. And the most important thing, Pat, you know this about young quarterbacks, can they consistently protect the football? Yeah. Drake Maye has shown the ability to not put the ball in harm's way. And because of that, he's excelled. And I think before today's matchup, JJ, you know this better than all of us because you're a voter. I think before today's matchup, I think Matthew Stafford had a lock on that MVP race. But now because of what Drake Maye did and how efficient he did it, I think Drake Maye is creeped back really, really close to Matthew Stafford when you talk about the MVP race. And that's a phenomenal feat for him in year 2 in the National Football League.
Yeah, this was an outstanding game by Drake Maye. He did what he's supposed to do against the bad teams, against the New York Jets that don't have a turnover as a defense, which is probably
interception.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Which
they barely have a turnover, but they don't have any.
4 turnovers, no interceptions. 2 is the fewest of all time. They're obviously on pace to break. They can't even accidentally intercept one. Every team has 6 or more in the NFL.
And Drake Maye obviously let them guys know why they can't get any interception because he went out there and threw 5 easy touchdowns, having a 35-minute day for the most part. But he went out there and had an outstanding game, was almost flawless in the first half. Yeah. Only incompleted 2 passes today, 19 for 21, 256 yards, 5 touchdowns, just unbelievable. He needed this performance today to keep that race a little bit closer because now it's going to force Matthew Stafford to go out there and put up big numbers because the voters, I guarantee you, JJ, I know you're one of them, you watched this game today. This game was an eyebrow raiser for a lot of voters going into the last week of the NFL season.
You know, I'm a voter who I do believe that we got to play the whole slate. And I wouldn't hold against, let's say, a Matthew Stafford or a Drake Maye if they had locked up the 1 seed and they sat in the final game of the season, okay? But I didn't think that this was so far and away Matthew Stafford's sort of award to lose going into today. Did consider him the favorite. This game does mean something for Drake Maye. The things that I'm going to take into account at the end of the season, obviously you're going to look at total stats, right? And right now they're close, but Matthew Stafford, before he has added his 16th game when they face the Falcons, he has 40 touchdowns and just 5 interceptions. Yeah. So his touchdown-interception ratio is far better than Drake Maye. Of course, Drake Maye has a few more touchdowns on the ground than Matthew Stafford. You also really, truly do have to take into account because Drake Maye, he's putting up numbers today. He can put up numbers next week against the Miami Dolphins in that defense. You do have to consider opponent. And while Drake Maye did not draw up the schedule, Matthew Stafford is putting up very similar, if not better, numbers against much better competition, right? Their strength of schedule is almost 200 percentage points better than what the New England Patriots are faced with. And that's just a fact, but that's just one fact in a cauldron of them as you all kind of stir this and figure it out. So another great performance from Drake Maye next week, no matter if it's against the Miami Dolphins. And if you get a game by Matthew Stafford, either against the Falcons or next week, where he looks like the Matthew Stafford from Carolina when they lost that one, And I think that this absolutely could be a very difficult decision, not only for myself, but for 49 other voters.
I'm just curious on how we define the value in most valuable player. A year ago, it was Josh Allen over Lamar Jackson because of what Josh Allen meant to his team. Matthew Stafford, we knew the talent he was going to be surrounded by in the form of Puka Nacua, in the form of that run game, in the form of Devontae Adams. We were very much suspect of the group of players around Drake Maye. He has been the rising tide that has risen all ships. We'll see how that MVP is applied this season. A quick thought here, JJ, on the Jets side. 35-3 at half can only be defined as not competitive. I mean, it's diametrically opposed to everything you're trying to be. I know that they have stripped this team down for parts. I know you're not expected to win this game, but the way they're losing the games, does this put the head coach in question?
It could, insofar as I don't know what Woody Johnson, the owner of the team, actually will do. And in talking with sources, no one truly knows exactly what he's going to do. As I've been writing about Aaron Glenn for some time, I'm careful with my words where I'm saying there is no expectation that Aaron Glenn will be a one-and-done head coaching candidate, that they have invested too much money in him. I think the money's somewhere around $14-15 million per year. You're not going to want to pay that out. But you don't want to finish on such a sour note. 2 weeks ago, giving up 40-plus points against the Jacksonville Jaguars. You fire Steve Wilks after saying 6 days earlier you're not going to fire him because Dan Campbell didn't fire you when things were going poorly. Then things went poorly and you fired your guy. And now you give up 40-plus points again after losing. I think they gave up 29 to Tyler Shuck and the New Orleans Saints last week. And that was without your defensive coordinator, who apparently was the problem, not the problem. Yes, you traded away Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams, but this was a bad defense before then. It's been a worse defense since then. And this defense, while failing to meet expectations last year, and part of the reason that Robert Saleh is no longer the Jets head coach, it was never this bad.
Agreed.
It was never this bad. I still think that Aaron Glenn will be the head coach of the Jets in 2026, and they're going to have a whole lot to figure out, not just the quarterback.
Takeaways are a taught skill, as is evidence in places like Chicago and Seattle. This is a defensive-minded head coach given the reins to a franchise, and they can't teach a takeaway for the life of them. 4 on the season, no interceptions, and on the brink of the most losses. Well, they're not going to get there, but you could find.
Saints quarterback Tyler Shuck make it 4 wins in a row, 333 yards on the day for you. Audric Estime, Juwan Johnson, Chris Olave, big clutch plays. How much fun are you guys having out there? How much confidence are you playing with?
I mean, you said it. We're just having fun. You know, we don't care about anybody else that's in the building, and that's the best part about it. We're playing complimentary football. All the guys, this is the most fun that we've been a part of in our careers, and we're going to keep going. We're going to finish strong, but just super proud of everybody. It was so much fun.
Your defense really turned it up in the second half as well, with 6 tackles for loss, 8 quarterback hits. How much do you guys feed off of their energy?
They're amazing, man. Coach Staley, what he's got those guys playing, Double D, Chase, you know, the whole back end, they're stepping up, making plays. We started off way too slow. They held it down for us. We were able to kind of put it together in the second half, and they're making plays. So credit to them, and credit to the O-line as well. You know, that's probably the best front that we've seen so far, and they did a good job.
Congrats on a tough win on the road.
Thank you. Who dat?
We even threw a little one in there for the home fans. Shuck is the first rookie quarterback in the Super Bowl era with an 80% completion percentage, 325 or more yards of passing, and 2 or more passing touchdowns in a game. It's looking good right now.